Oh, okay. All right, Friday night on Sports for All. And, tonight is a special episode, which was, well, sort of hastily planned, spontaneous, and sudden. Well, tonight we have with us the people behind Roundnet Philippines. And on the show is the president of Roundnet Philippines, Vic Domingo. Okay, and the young lady who will be representing the country uh, in uh, in the fourth quarter of this year in Belgium, Tin Badong. There's Tin. Okay, and last but not the least, the assistant coach of our Roundnet, our national team, Roundnet national team, Kenneth Landicho. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen, lady and gentlemen. And my first question is para kay Vic. Um, Kamusta yung training towards the World Championships? Paki-explain lang sa mga viewers natin paano yung process, paano tayo na-imbita sa World Championships?
So first of all, thank you, Sir Vince, for having us. Thank you for Sports for All for always being inviting and welcoming our sport of Roundnet. So in terms of preparation and the process, how we were invited in the Worlds, it started way back when the World Championship was supposed to happen on last 2020. But however, it was postponed due to the pandemic. And then eventually this year it will happen. So we are somehow recognized globally, our community here in the Philippines. Even pre-pandemic, they have been noticing us in the US and in Asian countries. And through constant meetings with the Asian Roundnet Federation and the International Roundnet Federation, where Roundnet Philippines is a member, then we got invited to join the first ever World Championship for the sport of Roundnet.
Okay, and okay, ang next question ko para kay Coach Kenny. Coach Kenny, kamusta na yung paano niyo naiikutan yung pandemic para tuloy-tuloy ang training ni Latin and mga ibang players para sa Worlds?
Actually, sir, during the pandemic, it was a huge challenge for us because, again, because of the restrictions of the government, syempre, we don't want to get penalized for disobeying rules. So, on our part, we started our own home trainings. Kumbaga, some of our athletes, from the coaches, we give workouts, things to do on their own in their houses na could help develop their personal skills. Then eventually, as the restrictions ease up or naglighten, we decided to conduct face-to-face trainings or meetings. And from there, hanggang sa today, lumuwag na siya. We even started hosting tournaments, and from those tournaments and those trainings, tuloy-tuloy na siya. And up until yesterday and today, Coach Sir Vince, we are already full blast training, but still maintaining at least the minimum health protocols. So again, aside from the competition, upcoming World Championships, our priority is still the safety of our athletes. So yun po, Coach Vince.
Alright, kay Tin naman, may mga qualifiers ka pang dinaanan para ma-represent yung bansa natin sa Worlds?
Okay, hello. I hope you can hear me clearly po.
Yes.
Okay, so actually po, I would just like to share how I started first in Roundnet. So I first saw Roundnet in social media. Kasi on my CHK friend social media sa Instagram, Facebook. Tapos first time namin mag-play ng Roundnet sa Kalayo Open. So yun din yung first time na natutunan namin yung Roundnet and first tournament. So luckily naman po, I think we got second place. Kung tama ako, Coach Vic, sa naalala ko. And that time, parang most of us were beginners. So halos lahat talaga nag-start as beginners muna. So ang nangyari parang siguro pabilisan maka-adapt sa sport. And I think as former volleyball player, madali ako naka-adjust and naka-adapt. Pati yung partner ko, he's also a former badminton player. So you have the advantage na kapag yun yung sports mo. So ba't yun yung nasabi kong advantage? Kasi it's easier to adapt since the objective of volleyball is same with Roundnet. So yung rules medyo similar. Pero kailangan mo pa rin talagang mag-practice para mag-improve yung skills. So marami, aside doon sa mga tournaments, ayun kasi kagagaling ko lang din sa injury po. So yun din yung isa sa na-experience ko. Pero kailangan talagang panatilihin yung positive mindset na hindi naging hindrance naman para sa akin mag-continue sa training. So ang inisip ko na lang, meron pa naman akong left so I can still use my left hand during trainings. Kung sasali man ako sa next game, pwede pa naman. And ang advantage lang din nun, ngayon napapractice ko yung left hand ko, mas nag-i-improve yung ball control ko sa left. So, yun naman, sa experiences ko sa tournaments, yun, madali akong naka-adapt. So, I think yun yung naging hakbang din para maging rank 1 sa women sa ngayon. Yan po.
Din
Thank
yung
you.
in terms of yun sa training, kasi nung medyo mataas pa yung mga alert levels, medyo hindi mo na pwede lumabas at ganyan-ganyan. So, kailangan maging konting innovative tsaka creative sa training for Roundnet. Meron bang specific Roundnet specific training na kailangan mong medyo iba-ibahin and maging creative ka kasi hindi pwede lumabas?
Ayun po, during pandemic po kasi talagang nawala rin yung play, nawala yung mga laro sa Roundnet and other sports. So ako po, kami po ng family, nag-resume na lang din po kami maglaro ng Roundnet last December 2021. So dun din po yung time na bumili ako ng spikeball set kay Coach Vic. So actually po talagang nag-start ng maging consistent pag-attend sa training, sa pick-up games after the surge na nung January to Feb. So I think March na rin po ulit nag-resume. So yun po, mas na-practice na lang during pick-up games. And then ngayon po, yun, we're currently preparing for the World Championships. Pero yun na po, ngayon pa lang din po talaga nagsa-start yung meron kaming proper training. And thanks to our coaches.
Vic, sa world, sino ba mga magiging matindi na kalaban dyan?
Well, definitely the host country, which is Belgium. So they have been hosting their own national tournament and the European tournament. But of course, where the sport originally started, the USA, they have the number 1 and number 2 players for their own international play. And medyo subtle lang pero they mentioned Canada is also a very competitive team, Germany as well. So ang nakakatuwa naman is that they welcome all countries who are interested to compete. And as Asian countries, I've already talked to Taiwan, Indonesia, who have already confirmed their registration to attend the first World Championship. Of course, Philippines, hindi natin inaalis. We're preparing to be at the competitive level.
Coach Kenny, dito sa Southeast Asia, sino bang malakas sa Roundnet?
Sa Southeast Asian, I think almost the same kasi nag-start yung Roundnet sa Southeast Asian countries. So, and to be honest, we haven't really played with the other Asian countries, Southeast Asian countries, just because of the pandemic. But seeing their videos, their plays, I think we're probably on the same level. So actually, we had a guest player from Taiwan, and looking at his play, actually he was the champion of our tournament. So I think hindi naman nalalayo. So I think we're basically on the same level. So the bigger picture na tinitingnan namin is really the Western countries kasi again, like Coach Vic mentioned, they are really one of the strongest team. So I think this World Championships will really help us see on yung level or anong level na ba yung Philippines and the Asian countries versus the world.
Okay, Tin, alam ko medyo malayo-layo pa yung worlds, pero ngayon pa lang may nararamdaman ka bang pressure, butterflies, nervyos?
As of now po, dahil ayun, so pinapanatili ko po yung positive mindset. So sa ngayon naman po, ah, lumalaban naman po ako. So yun po, hinihintay ko lang din po talaga makarecover muna from my injury. And nagtitiwala naman po ako sa coaches sa trainings na ipoprovide nila sa conditioning, strengthening, na makarecover din agad. And syempre, aside dun sa physical, kailangan ko lagi i-consider yung mental. So, ayun. Sa ngayon po, ine-enjoy ko lang din every practice, every tournament.
One day at a time. Okay. Vic, yung mayroong yung organization nyo, may efforts na ba to reach out to other Roundnet organizations sa ibang countries para to exchange of best practices, mga ganyan, mga training methods, ano yung mga what works for them, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, Sir Vince. Actually, we're a member of the Asian Roundnet Federation, and every month we get to meet every first Monday. And also, we are member of the International Roundnet Federation, so we get to join general assemblies. Although sometimes I'm the only one who represent the country during meetings, but I make sure that I would echo or remind the Roundnet Philippines members. So they have also shared how they conduct their tournaments, how they also conduct their club practices. And of course, I also shared some of our practices as well. And just to add, in Southeast Asia, Philippines is actually one of the first country to start teaching in grassroots level and conducting pickup games. However, during the pandemic, it was Indonesia who suddenly came out of nowhere and instantly they become recognized by their national government of Indonesia and support from sponsors. They got TV exposure. So after the pandemic, we were all shocked that they already have done national tournaments. They've competed in provinces. But again, we're so positive that we are helping each other. In fact, for the World Championship, they are also offered, if Philippines cannot fill in the number of teams, they are willing to combine a Southeast Asian country to represent if ever we will not be able to fill in all roster. So that's how collaborative they are within Asian countries.
That's good to know. Okay, Coach Kenny, have you coached in other sports or games? And if yes, ano yung difference between coaching yung sport na yon or yung game as to coaching Roundnet?
Yes, for your first question, Sir Vince, yes, I've coached other sports. To be specific, swimming and ultimate frisbee. Now, main difference for me is siguro yung sa swimming. It's more of a personal coaching style, one-on-one with the swimmer, compared to the round net. It's more of a team sport. Although it's played kahit 2 versus 2 lang, there's really a sense of playing together or playing as a team. So I think that's the main difference. And similarity, of course, is especially in ultimate, it's a team sport again, and there are more. I think yung challenging dito is there are more strategies to come up compared to an individual sport like swimming. Sa roundnet kasi you have to devise plays, you have to identify your strengths and weaknesses to compensate for your teammates and things like that. So I think that's the one of the major differences from an individual sport to a team sport. So that's it, Sir Vince.
All right. Tin, balik tayo sa training mo, nag-ano ka ba, nagko-cross-train into other sports to prepare for Roundnet? And if yes, anong mga sports yun?
Sa ngayon, sir, wala pa naman po. Pero kakabalik lang din po ulit sa swimming to develop my endurance. Tsaka yun din, to strengthen my shoulder again. Pero other than that, ngayon Roundnet na lang din muna po kasi busy din po sa work.
Okay, Vic, after yung Worlds, what's next for Roundnet Philippines?
So Worlds will be this coming September po. We're planning on December after the Worlds will be our first ever national tournament here in the Philippines. So we'd also like to invite not only from Metro Manila but also from Mindanao. We have been hearing from the northern province in Cagayan Valley as well as Dumaguete, who's starting to build a large roundnet community who's been playing regularly. So afterwards, will start again here in our country. And then our main focus is to hopefully bring it to the grassroots level in the PE classes, PE curriculum, and go around the schools to teach trainers, coaches, and sports directors to incorporate this as part of their sports program.
And so far, yung pag-cascade nyo ng itong sport of Roundnet sa mga officials natin and sports officials, school officials, how has the reception been so far?
During the pandemic, we had the opportunity to work with Tin, who's teaching in a Catholic private school in Katipunan. So we were able to do workshops. They were actually that's the first Roundnet experience for elementary students. But I think the administrators had more fun than the students. We were able to let the I think that was the assistant principal who joined us, and the teachers, of course, co-faculty of Tin, and they were very interested in putting it in their PE or club programs. And in my school, of course, it's already within the PE curriculum, but we're going around, hopefully, even during the pandemic. That's our next goal, to do workshops for teachers first, for face to face. And by the way, during the pandemic, Sir Vince, we had this Roundnet Club virtual class in Good Shepherd in Fairview. So my high school and junior high school students were doing their drills inside their house, inside their homes. And Spike Ball was so generous enough to send us one ball each. And of course, with the help of Roundnet Taiwan, who was also generous to donate balls. So we were able to deliver spike balls, balls only without the set because it's too expensive. But I was able to deliver the lesson, the class smoothly because they don't have to improvise and they were able to feel the real touch of the ball for the sport.
Okay, Coach Kenny, as a coach of Roundnet or Spike Ball, um, would you consider yourself still a student of the game aside from teaching and coaching the game, teaching the game? Do you also consider yourself a student of Roundnet? And pag estudyante, syempre you try to evolve and watch videos and read, ingest everything that's online about Roundnet, and then ito ay ituturo mo kay Tin and your other players.
Yeah, I think, Sir Vince, I will be forever a student of Roundnet. Say again, as a teacher, like Tin and Coach Vic, it goes hand in hand. Before we actually teach a specific skill or sport, we became students or players as well. So in the sport of Roundnet, before I became a coach, I was actually a player and a student first. Then in the pursuit of greater learning and knowledge of the sport, I kept studying. Then eventually, I became a coach and started teaching. And as Coach Vic mentioned, the sport of Roundnet is really young. So currently, it's still evolving. New rules, new equipment, new tournaments, or new hosts, or everything is really changing, fast paced, changing. So it is always beneficial for everyone or for us to always keep learning those changes and adapting to those rules, especially in the sport of Roundnet. So with your from your question, Sir Vince, yes, I think all of us are will be forever students of the sport of roundnet.
And balik naman tayo kay Vic. What aside from collaborations with schools, colleges and universities, what other collaborations yung nasa pipeline? Collaborations with LGUs, collaborations uh, with other sports clubs.
Yes, Sir Vin. So we have this sports deck where we share this to our future partners. But for the past, we have partnered with sportswear companies such as Arcon, who has been generous as well in providing free jerseys for the champion for our tournaments. Sambali is a venue, a partner venue in Zambales where we can conduct our Sambali Spike Camp last 2021. Inca Atletica. We also have small, medium enterprises such as Paps Ace Pansiteria, where they also brought their Batil Patong in our tournaments. We have our Amihan Cup, again, another venue in Batangas. And NU Lady Spikers or Lady Bulldogs were very happy and thankful for us lending them the sets for almost 2 weeks in their bubble. So they had time to play, explore, and have fun with the help of their strength and conditioning coach. And as a result, I think until today, they're still undefeated. Wala
Defeated,
pa
that's
yata
right.
isang tao. So
Wala pang talo.
we're not taking the credit na dahil nag-spikeball sila, pero baka naman Ateneo, Lasal, baka gusto nyo humiram ng sets, we'll be very happy to lend you our spikeball sets. So other than this, sir, we are still open to all kinds of collaboration actually. So it could be a company who would like to do team building and schools who would like to do a wellness program for their faculty. It could be any type of partnership. We're very happy. So we could do set rentals or donation to a school or less privileged area. We can conduct free training and workshops, and we can do X deals as well, especially this time that we're looking for possible sponsors. Maybe some would ask, what can we get from partnering with you? So we'll definitely be adding in our social media posts, display at our events, brand placement in our jerseys, and of course, our support, our definite support for your company as well. So yan, Sir Vin, sa mga future sanang collaboration. Aside from, syempre, POC, PSC, or yung mga sports governing bodies natin.
Well, hopefully Coach RDJ of LaSalle will be open to having his kids or his players cross train into spike ball or round net. Okay. Balik naman tayo kay Tin. Um, yung Tin, anong efforts, what efforts, I'm sure you've made efforts to na i-espouse yung round net or spike ball, i-preach ito to have more young people involved sa sport, engage in the sport, take advantage of their youth. What efforts from your end have you done para maengganyo ang kabataan na mag round net?
First po, yung minention ni Coach Vic kanina that we invited around the Philippines to introduce the round net in our school. So that's the first one po. So balak din po talaga namin i-include sa PE curriculum that time. Kaso lang po nagka-pandemic. So hindi po siya natuloy and medyo nabawasan din po kasi ng budget sa school. So hopefully po, this school year, tingnan natin, next school year or sa mga susunod kung mai-include na po namin sa PE curriculum. And aside from that po, ayun yung continuous participation namin sa tournaments. So for example, yung Palo-Palo G, it's a women's tournament. So maganda rin yun. I think those kinds of tournaments is also empowering din for women. So thank you sa organizing committee. And then, ayun din po yung pag-post sa social media. Minsan kasi bigla na lang may nagbe-message din sa akin na, uy, ano yan? Anong sport yan? Paano yan? Gusto ko rin itry. So, yun, doon sa pag-post sa social media, na-encourage din silang mag-try. Tapos, may mga nare-recruit pa konti-konti. Tapos bukas, may madadagdag ulit sa training. So, ayun po. Kailangan lang po talaga na i-promote yung Roundnet. At yung awareness din po talaga ng lahat sa sport na to, lalo na it's still new and it's still growing in the Philippines.
Okay, another question for Tin. Kasi you've just taken up yung sport or yung game, and I'm sure you've had quite a number of games under your belt, no? Ano yung best game mo? Best game mo as a round net or spike ball player ever played?
Yung best game, I think yung second leg ng Summer Spikeball Series held last, kailan to, Coach Vic? Anong date to?
Holiday yan. So it's Labor
Second.
Day.
Labor
Roundnet.
Day. Second. Or yung first. Yung
Ano
first and
first,
second.
sorry,
Ayun.
palo.
Ah,
Araw na
yeah.
kagiting.
So, I think yung first and second, kasi doon na rin ako mas natututo ng strategies, and yung partner ko same kasi sa first leg and second leg. So, mas nakapag-adjust na rin kami and nakakapag-strategize kasi alam na namin pareho yung strengths and weaknesses namin, kasi importante din yun para matulungan namin yung bawat isa sa game. And ayun, yung nade-develop din talaga yung values, hindi yun nawawala eh. Yun yung maganda rin sa sports, na yun, nade-develop yung positive mindset and attitude. Nare-remind din namin sa sarili yung bawi agad kapag natatalo or kaya may point na napupunta sa kalaban, kasi every point counts in the game. So yung mga ganong bagay po, yung experience talaga, yun yung best eh, every tournament. Tsaka yung, syempre, enjoyment. Lalo
May
na
balik
yung bonus kasi yung pagkapanalo, bonus na lang siya. Pero if you can get it, then why not, di ba? Just always do your best.
Okay, salamat Tin. Okay, Coach Kenny, physically, yung sa mga, I'm sure may mga nagiging curious na dyan about spike ball, about round net. No? Physically, anong tinatamaan ng round net? Specifically, which parts ng katawan ang tinatamaan, ang ine-emphasize?
Based dun sa, from the experience of playing the sport, the usual na, kumbaga, ginagamit natin na parts is usually yung shoulders and yung arms natin, because round net is really basically like volleyball, where you spike or hit the ball using your hands. But if you look at it on a perspective na ano ba yung kailangan or what do we really use our entire body, because you have to move around, you have to jump, you have to even run to chase the ball, spike. So there are a lot of movements involved. So basically, gagamitin natin yung buong katawan natin. Siguro, just to put emphasis with the use of your hands for spiking and for hitting the ball to the net.
Okay, balik naman tayo kay Vic. So far, Vic, sa buong Pilipinas, ilan ang club teams ng Roundnet? How many players so far? Mga organizations sa buong Pilipinas, ilan ang mga Roundnet?
So as of now, Sir Vince, meron kaming 100 plus na official members ng Roundnet Philippines. We had this promotion where we would give them ID certificate if they would go through the process of applying, which is free. So for those who are watching, you can become an official member just by following what's posted in our social media. Now, in terms of club servants, as of 2020 until the pandemic, we had these teams around 10 clubs, 15 and growing. So as I mentioned, di ko pa nasama kasi dyan yung nasa Dumaguete na nagulat kami. They're really consistent in terms of playing and hosting tournaments. So we're trying to reach as far as Mindanao. Medyo nahihirapan lang kami sa ngayon, pero we're sure na meron na dyan. Kasi, again, Roundnet started here in the Philippines from the ultimate community, yung mga nagfi-frisbee. So definitely, we're sure that there are Mindanao players from Mindanao who have already experienced competing and playing Roundnet. So until now, we're still trying to reach so that hopefully December po, magkita-kita lahat yan, yung clubs from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, and enjoy one weekend of spike ball experience or Roundnet experience.
Ano na ba yan, Vic? Magiging ultimate round net or ultimate spike ball? Imbis na
Yeah,
ultimate
actually, ang dami na rin sir na parang parang combination with the Roundnet eh. Hopefully kung paano rin nag-grow yung Ultimate from pickups, beginners night hanggang sa naging regular siya, tapos nagkaroon na ng beach, nagkaroon na ng international stage. We're hoping that we're also going through the same path. Hopefully this coming years to come. This years to come.
balik tayo kay Coach Kenny. Kasi tayo mga Pinoy, we're not known for our height, for our length. Na dito sa sports around net, sa nakikita ko sa mga videos, parang hindi siya major requirement eh. Parang hindi factor ang height and length. So, why do you think itong sport or game is where us Filipinos can excel?
Una, Sir Vince, I totally agree with you. It's hindi ganun kalaking factor yung height and length. Probably it is an advantage, but it's not a really huge factor. And for us Filipinos, I think the sport of roundnet is a sport where we can really excel in because again, we Filipinos have the resiliency on really playing any sport and be good at it. Siguro yung isa sa mga kumbaga roots ng pagiging atletang Pinoy natin. And with that thinking or spirit, if you put a Filipino in a specific sport, mag-excel siya doon and he or she will try its best. In terms of the physical, mental aspects, Filipino athletes are already there. And kagaya nga sinabi nyo, hindi malaking factor ang height. We had athletes who really excel in sports na hindi naman ganun katangkad and everything. So it's just the heart of a Filipino athlete. So yun, I think it's one of the factors lang. And nakikita rin namin from other sports as well na if we focus, if we have goals, mararating natin yan. So if we really want to win, it's more of the preparation and the training. And siguro a good example will be EJ Obiena, one of our Olympians as well. So breaking barrier siya eh. So I think pwede kong hilintulad doon na yes, as Filipinos, for every sport na lalaroin natin, we can really excel and break barriers to us. So.
Thanks, Coach. Tin, as a player, and you've been around, Roundnet and Spike Ball for some time already. I asked Coach Kenny from a coaching perspective, pero from your perspective, yung kasi hindi nga tayo kilala sa height and length, pero kilala tayo sa speed and quickness. So, ito ba ay advantage sa ating mga Pinoy kasi hindi tayo kilala for our height?
Ayun po. So I agree po with Coach Kenny also na yung height hindi siya masyado nagmamatter sa roundnet kasi ako po, I'm only 5'1" yung height ko. And former libero po yung position ko sa volleyball. So naging advantage po sa akin na siguro yung strength ko sa volleyball is yung defense, and defense is important in roundnet. Kasi without defense or first ball, your partner will also have a hard time setting the ball up. And yun, second ball din, importante siya sa roundnet or spike ball para maka-attack or yung partner mo maka-attack properly towards the roundnet. or yung net. Kasi yun nga, pag walang defense, walang attack na maayos din. So, yun naging advantage naman siya na kahit hindi ka katangkaran, basta okay yung defense mo, you also have the ball control and coordination, agility, yung mga skills na yan, pwede, kayang-kaya mo malaro yung roundnet. But, of course, aside naman sa volleyball, regardless of your sport, anyone can learn this sport kasi you can easily understand the rules, kayang-kaya siya regardless of your age din. So yung daddy ko din po naglalaro, regardless of your gender. So kahit sino kayang matutunan yung roundnet as long as you are willing to learn the sport and listen also to the other people who have been playing the sport already. So for example, yung mga coaches, our coaches are professionals. So magagaling sila. We have great coaches in roundnet. So just be open in order to improve your skills in the sport.
Thanks, Tin. Coach Kenny, kasi please correct me if I'm wrong, Vic also and Tin. Kasi nakikita ko parang disadvantage pa yata pag mas matangkad ka because you have to bend lower, you have to yung aabutin mo yung para abutin mo yung bola. And if you're I wouldn't say shorter, pero kung less height ka and less length, yung center of gravity mo, mas madali mong matatamaan yung bola. And question for Coach Kenny, advantage ba pag ambidextrous ka or does the rule only allow you to use one hand?
In terms of the rules, sir, actually you can use any part of your body to hit the ball. So you can use either left or your right hand or even your feet if you really want to hit the ball or minsan kasi mahirap nang habulin yung bola. Sometimes players use their feet. And there are also rules na you can use unintentional body parts. For example, yung shoulders or your body na tamaan ng bola, it counts as a hit or one a good hit. So you can actually use any part of your body if you can control it to hit the ball. So walang problema yun, sir. And yun sa question niyo, sir, na if ambidextrous or you can use both of your hands to really control or set the ball, it is a huge advantage, sir. Especially kapag when you're chasing or you're doing defense on the sport of roundnet, it means that you have more options. And ganun din sa offense, sir. If you can use both of your hands, you have more options on which hand to use for attacking, on which direction and which angle.
Okay, balik tayo kay Tin. Can you walk us through yung typical training day mo for roundnet?
Okay, typical training day. Kasi we just started po yung regular training talaga last Thursday or last week. Pero fitness assessment pa lang din kami last week. So nung yesterday, Thursday pa lang po talaga yung start talaga na official training namin. So ayun, kailangan syempre maaga kami sa training, lalo na po kami kasi nagpa-reserve ng venue. And then nagsistart kami na relax lang muna while waiting for the other players. And then pag dumating na rin yung coaches, we have to be ready and then follow yung instructions nila. Kasi lalo na ilang training days pa lang din kami. So yung routine namin sa training, dun pa lang din talaga nagsa-start. So starting pa lang din po. And then, ayun, kailangan lang din talaga naming makinig sa kanila kasi yung drills na ginagawa namin sa training, parang kaka-introduce pa lang din sa amin. So, ayun, parang kumbaga trial pa lang din yung mga nangyayari ng mga previous sessions namin. So, kailangan pa naming ma-master din yung routine, yung every drill. So, kailangan lang din ng consistency sa training sa mga pinapagawa pong drill sa amin. And of course, we also have to give our best always. Yun yung binabanggit din nila Coach Vic during trainings na we always have to give our 100% kahit nagde-drills lang, ibigay yung best kasi we have to push our limits para mag-improve pa. So hindi lang yung ititira mo lang yung bola para pumasok sa net. Kailangan gawin mo kung ano yung game mo. Just play your game. Give your 100% lagi. Kahit sa training lang, practice lang, basta 100%.
Okay, now we have a few minutes left on the program. I'd like to invite Vic, Tin, and Kenny to invite our viewers to give spike ball and Roundnet a shot, to give it a try. Let's start with Vic.
Ayun, thank you so much for this opportunity to promote the sport of Roundnet. So for those who have not yet tried or ever experienced the sport of Roundnet, we have our regular open pickup games at UP Diliman every Tuesdays and Saturdays, 3 p.m. onwards. You don't have to bring anything, just be ready with your sports attire. We'll handle the rest. And we also have our training program, which is open to everyone who's interested. We do that every Monday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So we try to cover all places. We are starting the regular pickup at BGC every Tuesdays afternoon for those living in the South area. We also have regular pickups in Cagayan Valley every day, actually, until night in their sports complex in Cagayan. We also have in Boracay. We have in Dumaguete, of course, and hopefully we get to start in your area. So if you're interested, just make sure to send us a message in our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or send us an email at roundnetphilippines@gmail.com or check out our website at roundnetphilippines.com. Ayun po.
All right, Coach Kenny.
Yeah, I would like to invite everyone to really play the sport. If you're looking for a new hobby or sport na you feel na could really make you break a sweat, I think this is a sport for you. Again, us coaches, us players, we're very willing to teach. Siguro one good advantage ng Roundnet is you can play it anywhere, as in grass, beach, hard court, even on the pool or in the water, pwede na tayo mag-spike ball because we have the spike boy, as in you can play it anywhere. So dun pa lang, whatever is available in your area, you can play spike ball. We are definitely sure of that. So again, ulitin ko lang, if you want to learn the sport, play the sport, don't hesitate to contact us. We will do our very best. We are even willing to go to your place and conduct workshops and trainings for you guys. So, given the opportunity, why not, diba? So, yun. So, again, and also please support Roundnet Philippines. So, please like our page, follow us, and we will be posting our trainings, our schedules, upcoming events, and we're very willing to ask or entertain your questions about the sport. So, yun lang po.
Tin.
Okay, so I hope we could encourage more people to try Roundnet po kasi it's a good sport. As I mentioned earlier, anyone can play the sport regardless of your gender, your age, your previous sport. You can get a lot of health benefits po from playing this sport. So na-mention din po ni Coach Vic and Coach Kenny kanina. And it's a good physical activity. So after long hours of sitting from work o kaya school, so pwedeng mag-roundnet, mag-spike ball, pwede po kayo pumunta ng UP Diliman kung taga QC kayo. So we play every Tuesdays, may open games po, pick-up games po kami. And ayun, additional option for physical activity din po kasi, and to lessen your screen time, lalo na pag nasa bahay, nag-increase talaga yung sedentariness sa ngayon, lagi tayo nakatutok sa gadgets. So let's try to move more. And aside from that, the community of Roundnet Philippines is very welcoming. So people are friendly, everyone's easy to approach, and as mentioned by Coach Kenny, they will help you improve. And we treat each other as learners talaga sa Roundnet Philippines kasi everyone's in the learning process pa. And again, this is new and growing pa in the Philippines.
Okay, salamat Tin. we wanna wish Tin the best of luck at the Worlds. Um, Train hard, but I'm sure when you get there, games are supposed to be fun. To compete hard, but also have fun. We also wish best of luck to Vic and Kenny as they continue to preach the game of, and also Tin as they continue to preach the game of Roundnet, spike ball to to our Filipino brothers and sisters. So thank you very much, guys.
Sir Vince, can I just add, sorry, before we conclude this session, we forgot to mention this coming June 12, Araw ng Kalayaan, we have our third leg of our series. So for the past holidays, we have done our leg 1 and leg 2. This time, June 12 is on a Sunday and it's on a holiday. So we'd like to invite all your family members to come and join. You can watch, you can join, you can try the sport. It will be held in MWSS Gymnasium along Katipunan Avenue. So if you're near in Quezon City, make sure to visit the third leg or the final leg of our Spikeball Summer Series. Of course, organized by Roundnet Philippines together with Dream Nation and Spikeball Fairview. So anyone can join even if you don't have a partner, wala pa po kayong kilala, you can sign up as an individual. We'll find you a teammate and of course we'll guarantee when you get out of there you have new set of friends from the Roundnet Philippine community. So we'd like to invite you to join our tournament and continue to support. And of course, before I forgot, we are right now looking for partners and sponsors for the upcoming Roundnet World Championship. So if you know someone who are willing or who are generous enough to partner, we're looking to of course, build partnerships with you for the national team to work with you for our success as a country to represent the Philippines. Ayan po, Sir Vince. Thank you so much.
Okay, so to organizations, companies out there who are looking to do any CSR work or who are looking for organizations or sports teams to sponsor, you don't have to look far. Check out Roundnet, Spikeball, check out their Facebook page. Look for Vic, look for Kenny, look for Tin. It's hindi kayo magsisisi pag sinuportahan nyo sila at bigyan ng masusing atensyon itong bagong sport na Roundnet. So this is it for tonight's episode of Sports for All. Thank you to Vic, Kenny, and Tin for your time. And please don't forget, tomorrow on another episode of Sports for All, my guest would be Coach Daniel Sokolovsky, who is the head coach of the BC Lucerne, which is a club in the Slovenian Basketball League. So it'll be an interesting conversation. And also watch out every Tuesday for my column Sports Without Borders on the Business Mirror. So that's it tonight, folks. Happy weekend and see you again.
Thank you so much. Bye. Shout out to our Roundnet Philippines members. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.